You're anxiously awaiting a German assault, and in the distance you hear the roar and sputter of a motorized engine. All of a sudden, you see an armored half-track appear. This terrifying ordeal happened to many of the Allied nations. And it's also one of the reasons why one of the most famous land vehicles of the Second World War is the German half-track. The half-track basically had a set of wheels in the front and a set of tracks in the back, with the front set of wheels providing steering and the tracks providing the power and ability to carry most of the load over adverse terrain that often would result in the spinning tires of a normal transport truck. In the previous video, we talked about the Nebelwerfer and the amount of sheer devastation it could bring to its adversaries in a rather rapid fashion. Now in 1941, the Germans captured an early production model of the BM-13, nicknamed Katusha. The German High Command wanted something similar to what the Russians had. So they decided to take the half-track design that had already proven itself over the terrible Russian roads and essentially slap a Nebelwerfer system onto it. Now when one uses the term Panzerwerfer, it refers to two types of vehicles. And I want to provide a disclaimer, I'm not German nor do I speak German, so I will attempt to say these names as well as post them down in text so you can clearly see what they are. But anyways, the first one was the SD KFZ-41 and the Aufschwer. Both utilized the 15cm Nebelwerfer 41 rockets. By far, the most produced model is the SD KFZ-41 produced by Opel. It is a 6-cylinder petrol engine with a top speed of 24 miles per hour. Its armaments were a 2x5 rack of the 15cm Nebelwerfer 41 rockets. It typically carried 20 rockets or 2 salvos worth. It was also equipped with either an MG-34 or an MG-42 for close quarters defense. The other model was the Shorthair Wehrmachtsschlepper. This one came later on in the war, with far fewer being produced compared to the other variant. Now this first image is two unaltered versions right out of the factory. It carried the same rocket system as the SD, that being the 15cm Nebelwerfer 41 rockets. And from what I've read, they carried 26 total rockets. It was also equipped with an MG-42 for secondary defense. It had a 6-cylinder engine, although a Maybach one. It was produced by Bussignog Tatra with a top speed of 17 miles per hour. This was originally designed as a support vehicle to be utilized on the Eastern Front and was thus later adopted to accept the Nebelwerfer rocket system. It first saw use on the Eastern Front where they found the inspiration for it, where it demonstrated that through a large enough bombardment it was highly effective in providing a great shock and awe to the enemy. Not to mention the psychological effects that every nation's rocket launchers brought, that being the noise, the sheer violence of the impacts, and the debris being thrown about. After the successful events on June 6, 1944, the Allies had finally landed in France. The 7th Werfer Brigade was then sent to Normandy following the landings. It was utilized and first experienced by British and Canadian forces, specifically on the attack on the Orne Bridge. In the last major German offensive of the war, they pulled out all their remaining offensive capabilities, so the Panzerwerfer saw extensive use at the Battle of the Bulge, mainly in the Ardennes region of Belgium. In the final days of the war in Europe, the Germans would of course use anything they had remaining in their reserves. As a result, what remained of the Panzerwerfers saw use in Germany and the defense of Berlin against the Russians. As with most of German technology, the Panzerwerfer was not produced in any extraordinary capacity, that being merely several hundred of them, and when compared to the Allied production capabilities and the Russians' thousands of Katyushas, they stood no chance in making a significant impact in the war. And with all that said about the Panzerwerfer, that's going to go ahead and conclude another video. Now in my next videos, I plan to do on the factions of World War I, nation by nation. I plan to talk about the troops themselves, the equipment they carried, the training they received, and where they were most likely deployed. As always, if you have any advice on how to improve the quality of the video, please leave it down below. I'm open for any suggestion, as I'm still trying to find my footing and find a style that works for me. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. With all that said, I'll catch you in the next one.